Traveler had ran hours as he finally cooled. Beginning a trot, he had actually done circles about Eleanor's horse as it ran. Everything in his mettle was pulsing. He could feel his urges wanting to rip into her flesh with his teeth, his claws. How could he save her? How could he keep resisting his nature? He was brought from his thoughts by her smooth voice. "Mashie, are you all right?" His eyes calmed, his stride shortened to a brisk walk. "If your horse can keep going, I recommend it." She looked back to him. "Don't worry about Bulrush, she has more in her. But Mashie, your fur, it's dragging. We need to sew it up before it's too worn to sew." Traveler shaked his head slightly, moving his loose mane about. "Later, my mind is too full to have you touch me." "I don't. I will hurt you if we stop now." Eleanor nodded slightly. "Then let's go another hour or so and see how you feel." He nodded back as he looked to the ground, at his claws digging into the earth with every step, imagining it was her flesh. He let out a deep sigh. He could never touch her. Never feel her. What was he thinking? Why did he think he could live like a man? He loved her so deeply he knew he had to let her go. The kingdom was safe. She would be safe from him. The day passed on, and he saw her horse finally tiring, so he spoke. "We can stop now." She slowed her horse to a halt, jumping off, patting her horse, then beginning to wipe it down with her hands and her shirt. "You did good, girl," she smiled, looking to Traveler. "After I'm done with her, she will need some time to rest. Then we will sew you up, all right?" Traveler sat himself down. He could feel himself eagerly awaiting her touch. Though he couldn't feel her, he could remember what touch was. She pulled from her saddle bag some thread and needle, going over to him. "Here, let me see," he laid down, putting his head to the ground. She looked at the shreds. "Well, I'm glad I brought so much thread. You really made a mess of yourself." Traveler breathed silently, then spoke as she began her tedious work. "I would have done worse to you." She stopped her sewing. He heard a metal dinging sound as she knocked on his metal shell of a skull. "You are so hard-headed. I told you, you can't hurt me," he sighed again. "You have not seen damages. I have done." Eleanor continued to sew. "You won't make me afraid of you. We are great friends. We should enjoy this time together before the battles." He turned slightly to see her. "You will not be fighting in the battles." She kept at her work. "I most certainly am." As she cut the thread with her teeth, as she began on another, knotting the thread tightly. "You should do as your stallion commanded. And I suppose before we get to the kingdom some words should be said." She just kept up her sewing. "I need to fight. Do you honestly think any one of those mares back home would listen to me?" Traveler knew her words were in truth. "But they follow colts, will, don't they?" And she knew what he said was true. Yes, but only in ways they won't be in trouble later. "I don't want to speak on words yet. Let's just enjoy this time." Traveler sighed. "For the time being, but there must be words before the arrival at the kingdom." It took some time to sew him up. There were clumps out, but for the most part, he would hold together till they arrived at the kingdom. Time passed. Traveler took the time to show Eleanor the open world that she had never seen. She collected flowers. He hunted for her. She cooked for him. Time was passing slowly but swiftly. At the same time, they were closing in on the kingdom. But every time Traveler tried, his words became stuck in his throat. One day came and Traveler seemed to be looking about. "You do know where you are, don't you?" Eleanor spoke softly in a tease. He looked to her. "Indeed I do. We are near my other brother's kingdom. I do not wish to get any closer to his territory." "Another brother?" Traveler looked to the trees. "That direction we will avoid. The kingdom he has is a grand one of trading, but the darkness lies within the walls of his household." Eleanor looked the direction. She couldn't see anything. "How far off is it?" Traveler looked to her. 3 days by foot, so let's keep it at that. She looked to him. "Mashie, is he really all that bad?" Traveler's eyes pierced to her. "I pray you will never find out the truth of my words. He is the worst of us 3. He kills for pleasure. He only wishes to gain more power, more control. His blood runs black." Eleanor slightly smiled. "Sounds like a real stick in the mud as a kid, I bet. He always tailed the tattle on you, didn't he?" Traveler slightly chuckled, turning from the direction. "You are not wrong, perhaps deserved. I was rather the mischievous one." They walked on for an hour or so, before Eleanor switched to Mashie's. Back to give Bulrush her rest. They had only went into a tree lion, when, with a rush that made their stomachs turn, a downward fall had them